Jason Mohammad, thanks for taking the time out of your evening.
No worries, Geth.
During these hard times. Just wanted a quick question. How are you? Because obviously lockdown, it's affected us all. So how are you first?
Yeah, no, I'm good. Thank you very much indeed. I've got 3 children and they're all doing really well. I was a bit worried at the start about doing all their work and stuff, but thankfully they've all been working very hard. And most importantly, we're all fit and well. That's the most important thing. There are so many people who are suffering at this time, Gethin. There are so many NHS workers doing incredible things. So I just want to pay tribute to them and thank them for everything they're doing. And I suppose I'm the lucky one, really. I've got my studio attic here that I put together. Never thought I'd turn a bit of my attic into a radio studio, but in here is where I've been doing Radio 2 on a Sunday and Radio Wales Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But this is the highlight of lockdown now, talking to you on your birthday.
That's literally was my next question. How has it affected your work? Because obviously, as you said, in your attic, it seems like it.
Well, obviously Saturdays, final score, I haven't been doing those because there's been no football. So that's been really painful. Actually, I'm missing my football. No doubt you're a big sports fan as well. So missing that as well. So obviously there's no TV work, but at the moment I'm doing all my radio shows from in here. So this is where you'll find me at 8 o'clock on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning, getting ready to talk to the nation. And in fact, this was full of junk. Just literally a few weeks ago, this room was full of junk. There were clothes bags all over the place. They're all my match programs. I'll give you a little guided tour of it. I'll find some match programs for you to have a look at in a bit. CDs, got my books here as well, and my records as well. But it was a real mess at the start of lockdown, but we turned it into a nice little radio studio now. So thankfully, it's all going really well. We've only fallen off air once as well, which is a triumph.
Adapting well, like we're all trying to do in these times. And Jace, you've got a faith and religion show on Radio 2 on Sundays.
Yeah.
During these times, have you seen the engagement and viewers increasing during these times at all?
It's a great question, Gath. It's amazing, actually, that we get a lot of people contacting us on a Sunday morning. They're listening to Good Morning Sunday, and they'll say, "I'm not religious, but I really love your show." But the fact that there are so many other people now who are turning to their faith in this very testing time, the one thing we've seen is a number of people getting in touch with us from all faiths and saying, look, your program is really providing a lot of spiritual help at the moment, which is amazing for us to hear because, we get all the credit, but actually we've got a great production team behind us as well. It's just a blessing to do a program like that. But we have had a number of people saying that they've turned to their faith more than ever before because this is something that they've never been through. You and I, we've never been through this. My kids are at a very young age, at 10, 13 and 16. They'll never, ever forget this. I've never been through anything like this as well. So we have had a lot of people saying that our little program, on a Sunday morning between 6 and 9, BBC Radio 2, if you haven't listened to it before, get up early on a Sunday morning and have a listen. Some great music. We have inspirational guests as well. And our listeners are just the best listeners in the world. They contact us. They tell us so much about their lives. And we also have a little bit of fun as well. So it's a lovely show to do. I absolutely love it. And if you'd told me when I was 10 years old that I'd be presenting a show on Radio 2 at the age of 40 odd, I would never have believed you. It's an absolutely great program to do.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. As well as your faith and religion show, you do work in sport as well.
I thought you were going to say you're always on telly or you're always on the radio.
Nah, simple question. Are you missing sport? Like
oh,
me?
Yeah. Oh, seriously. It's, look, there are bigger things to worry about at this moment in time, like I said at the start of the interview. We have sports in your blood, Gethin, and I know it's in your blood as well from working with you at one of the masterclasses we did at Cardiff Met, where you did a great job as well. I got that feeling that all of you on that course that day, you're like me. Like I was at the start of my career. You love sport. I could feel it. It's in the passion in all of us. And, it's my job as well as, supporting my football team. We'll come on to that in just a moment as well. Yeah. I'm missing watching them. I'm missing them watching win. I'm missing them losing. And most importantly, the other thing as well is I'm missing being with the pundits on a Saturday afternoon. It's such a great show to do. And Dion Dublin and I have been texting and Leon Osman and John Walters and all those people. We're just keeping in touch with each other because we know that we'll be back soon, hopefully, God willing, and we can resume the football season.
How are they doing? Are they all right?
Yeah, they're all good. Yeah, they're all good. Everyone's got their unique ways of dealing with it. I think there's a lot of fitness going on as well. A lot of fitness in the gardens. John Walters was saying how much he's been doing some boxing in his gym there as well. Leon's been keeping fit. You might have seen that on social media as well. But yeah, they're all great people. You know, these are people I watched as a kid, and also in my early days as well. So the fact I sit with them on a Saturday afternoon now is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, and while we're on that topic of fitness, how are you staying fit in these times? Because we're all adapting to our own preferences. But yeah, what are you doing these days?
Yeah, well, shout out to the guys at the Cardiff Half Marathon. I'm wearing their merch from 2016. I didn't actually, Geff, little secret, I didn't actually run the 2016 Cardiff Half Marathon. Is it 2016? I think it is, yeah. But they gave this to me because I was presenting the coverage. So I got it by default. So shout out to them. But I've been doing a bit of running actually with my lad. He's 13 and he's got into running in a big way. So we've been running every other night. I usually train with Paul Gray, ex-amazing fitness trainer. Usually train with him on a Friday. You might see my videos on Instagram and Twitter on a Friday where he absolutely batters me. So we do 10 rounds of boxing on pads and then kettlebells and all that. So I've been doing some kettlebells in the garden, mostly running really, just keeping active. Same for you, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've been doing some HIIT workouts, a few jogs, but yeah, as I said, we've been trying to do as much as we can.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Really hard.
Yeah, absolutely. You would have been this summer in the Olympics, surely, presenting out there.
Yeah.
Has this time given you that chance to reevaluate what's important in life?
Yeah.
And it's like,
I think, I was talking about this on the show on Sunday actually, because as we talk now, it's Ramadan. We're into the just over the second week of Ramadan as well. So I'm fasting at the moment as well. So the time has given me a bit more opportunity to reconnect with my faith. And usually during Ramadan, I'm running about, I'm catching trains, and I'm doing shows and doing that sort of thing. So I've had more time to reflect on actually living and being here, and being a human being as well. In a very holy month, I've had time to reconnect with my family because, as I say, I don't get to see them on weekends. So we've had that time as well. I'm doing a bit more writing than I normally would. I'm just doing some writing on a little project that I've got going on the side. Got a couple of other things going on as well that I'm talking to people about, some new projects. So these are things that probably would never have happened, Gethin, had we not been in lockdown, to be perfectly honest, because it is busy doing the radio at the start of the week and then 2 days getting ready for the weekend, do the show on a Saturday, the football show, and then get ready for Good Morning Sunday on a Sunday and then get home. So it's full on, so it's just giving me a time to, pardon the pun, put the foot on the ball and just have a look around and see what else is out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've kind of touched on it roughly, but as a experienced presenter like yourself, Jason, you came in to teach us, the sports broadcasting students in Cardiff Met, on the radio sports news just before Christmas now. Is teaching something like us something that you've always wanted to, or is it something you could go into in the future?
Yeah, it's a really good question, because I think what happened was that Joe Towns, your lecturer and the guy who runs the course at Cardiff Met, he and I worked with each other for many, many years doing Six Nations. We went to Las Vegas famously and put out a half-an-hour show with Al Pacino when we did Carl Zaggy Hopkins back in 2008. So Joe and I go back a long way, and he's a great guy. And I just said to him, look, I'm just want to offer a bit more back these days now, because in 21 years I've gathered so much information, so many skills that I wouldn't mind passing down. And absolutely, I love that there. And I've done a couple of others. I've done a few in North Wales and Nangarrow in South Wales as well, and Cardiff and Vale. Did a full week with Cardiff and Vale College, Bridgend College as well, and the reception has been amazing. And I think the lovely thing for me is that I get to work with people like you. So I look at it like this, that Gethin's got a desire and a dream and a vision to work in TV, radio, sport, just like I did back then. So if there's 2 or 3 tricks and bits of knowledge and information that I can give you in one day, and you guys were brilliant. I was so impressed that day. You absolutely nailed it that day as well. That radio challenge I sent you, because it was quite difficult, wasn't it? Quite a tough challenge. Basically, you had to turn around a news program, a sports news program, in a couple of hours, edited, and be ambitious, get loads of guests on as well. and replicating exactly what we do on a normal day in radio and TV. So seeing you guys there listening and just taking all those tips, and what I should say as well is that you started this interview by saying clean in, clean out, which is something I taught you back in October. So not doing too bad. So thank you for listening that day again. But yeah, it's something I really, really enjoy. And it's something very different as well. And look, if there's one little bit that I can give you, Geth, as you start on your career of broadcasting, then I've done my job.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I remember you saying aim high, and
yeah, big time.
That always sticks. That's one of the main things that stuck in my head from that session.
Oh, honestly, that's so nice to hear, Geth.
Yeah, no, so it was very valuable to everyone. Like,
and you'll find that as well. And for those people watching this now elsewhere as well, you'll realise that there are days in any industry, in any walk of life as well. And I tell my kids this as well, is that never settle for just, oh yeah, that'll do, that's okay. Always push yourself for that one job more. I remember working with someone back in about 1998, and they said to me, look, my job here is to stretch you, is to basically give you as many opportunities as you can. So you'll be thinking, how can I do this show? What am I doing here? I can't be doing this. But actually, if we didn't think you could do it, we wouldn't put you there. So if we stretch you, never settle. And I think being unsettled in a good way, that's the reason why I've done so much stuff in sport, in TV, and radio. There's not a show I've not really had a crack at. I had a crack at Crime Watch as well. When the opportunities come, always grab them. Always grab them with two hands and basically aim high and always never settle for mediocrity. Always keep pushing yourself.
And I think you've kind of gone into it there. I think going out of your comfort zone, that's the only probably way you're going to grow for success.
Yeah.
Get where you want to be.
And also, Geth, what you'll find as well, and this goes to a lot of students who are hopefully embarking on a career in broadcasting, because it's a wonderful way to live and earn a living as well.
Yeah.
Is that there will be times where you think, do you know what, I'm done now. I've enjoyed that, and it's time to move on, right? And that's great, because you're then thinking, do you know what, maybe I'm not enjoying it as much as I used to. I'm going to push on and have a go at something else. But throwing yourself into stuff. There were moments in my career, early days, where I was floundering, especially when I was working in TV news. I was like, this is really hard work. 5 days as a young broadcast journalist, getting the news out. The amount of times I ran down, and I've got a lot of ex-colleagues who'll tell you this, ran down with a tape around the corridor. Here it is coming, here's the tape. And we literally would jam the tape in the machine, and someone would press play, and it would go out on BBC One Wales. I found it really hard. In the early days, after leaving Cardiff Journalism School at Cardiff University in 1997-98, really hard work, man. Going home with headaches and stuff. But, being thrown in the deep end, suddenly then when you go to a World Cup, for example, and the guys are saying, oh, what can you do for us then? You're there in Volgograd nice and early. What can you do for us? And I'm going, well, I'll tell you what, I'll take a camera crew out tomorrow. We'll get some nice shots of the town. We'll also do a nice shots of the statue and that sort of thing. And we'll turn it into a kind of news piece that you can use at half time in the day before the game. And they're like, what, really? I was like, yeah, I used to do this. I used to do this 5 days a week when I worked in news. And it's like, oh, amazing. Well, okay, send the rushes down. We'll edit it in Moscow. But yeah, that would be great. Go out for a morning, script it in the back of the taxi on the way back to the hotel, send the rushes, and we had a beautiful piece back in the World Cup in 2018. And some of the guys were going, man, I didn't know you could do that. I'm like, I did that for 5 years when I was working on Wales City. So all those skills you get early on in your career, they come back then to help you later on.
I don't think people understand how much work goes into every part of production in TV and radio, etc. Like, it's a team effort, isn't it? And
unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable. And something that I've learned during lockdown as well, Gethin, and I really hope this sticks and stays as well. One thing I've been very, very keen to do, because bearing in mind, I've got a laptop, I've got a microphone, I've got a sound card, right, and a pair of headphones, and I'm in my attic. And somehow, our amazing teams are getting me on air, not just around the UK, remember, but around the world. People are listening on the internet and stuff, right? So one of the things that I've been really keen to do is making sure, not just on emails, saying thank you to my team as well for helping us out, kind of, amongst the team, but also on Twitter and on Instagram as well, giving the production team a shout out. So the producers and people on the sound deck as well, and people putting the show together, because we're talking about lines going in and out and all over the place as well. And giving them a shout out, because I don't think, I said earlier, we get all the credit. I don't think the production teams get enough credit. So I really hope that sticks. A lot of people are doing it. If you look at some of the high profile presenters, a lot of them are saying thanks to our teams and naming people as well. It's really important we do that, because it is a very, very complex business. People think you just turn up, read an autocue and go home. Man, there's so much more to it than that.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. And people that want to, like new starters like myself, what do you advise people like myself to do that's trying to get into the media? And what do you advise them to do starting off, basically, to get into the industry?
I think the most important thing is to have that desire, so that an employer can look at you and go, yeah, Gethin, not only has he got the skills, because you clearly have got them, but also he really, really wants it. And also just going that extra mile. It's basically showing people, and I saw that with all of you students on the masterclass day that I did back in October. You all had that real kind of desire and drive to push on and not just make an ordinary radio show. I remember you guys, I think it was your team, wasn't it, where you got John Parkin up. You got a live interview with John Parkin. And I was like, fair play. You got like somebody, an ex-footballer, on the phone, whereas you could have easily just interviewed each other. So it's all about that ambition as well, and just making sure that you think of absolutely everything in a pre-production meeting as well. But I think it's that passion, Jeff, if I'm perfectly honest. If I can see the passion in you, because as I say, you've got the skills, you know how to write, you know how to shoot, you know how to edit, you know your way around social media, you're a very good interviewer. It's about then, right, but has Gethin got the passion and the energy and the enthusiasm to make it a sparkling program? And if you've got that, then you will go so far in your career. And the other thing, like I said earlier, is don't say no to anything. Take everything, every opportunity that comes, just grab it with both hands.
Yeah, absolutely. You've nailed that.
even going down to like report on Cardiff City games. That's not
a bad gig, is it? That's not, especially for a massive Cardiff City fan.
Yeah. No, I'm going to vote for you. I said, if you want to succeed, you can't turn that down. You've still got to do it, even though you might be thinking, "Oh man, I've got to go down there." You've got to do it, because bear in mind, before I did Final Score, I used to do Cardiff City reporting one week and then Swansea City the following week as well. So and I used to get people going, "What are you doing down here?" I said, "I'm just working, and have a few selfies and then go home."
James, when you interview people, high quality athletes, what are the most important tips as a presenter?
Well, I suppose it depends really on where you're interviewing them. So, for example, if you've got Usain Bolt coming into studio for a 20-minute interview, then it's all about making sure you do your prep, something I said in the masterclass, making sure that you are well organized and you've done your homework as well. If, for example, however, like I did at the World Cup in 2018, you're at the grounds and you're interviewing your pundits, you've got to prepare, but you do that on most Saturdays anyway, so you know each other. They'll probably say to you, "Oh, ask me this," and then it's usually hand back to the studio. But the other thing is, when you're doing the post-match interviews, the flash interviews as we call them, for me, it's all about maintaining your composure, because they are utterly frantic, because you are literally in the tunnel. Players have either just won a World Cup semi-final, for example, or they've lost a World Cup semi-final. So in your mind, you've got to be sympathetic to the losing semi-finalists, for example. And I'm just thinking top of my head now, when I did France-Belgium in the World Cup, I had Olivier Giroud and Hugo Lloris first of all, and I'll never forget, Olivier Giroud was drinking Fanta, and we were waiting for them to come live to me. And I said to Olivier Giroud, "I didn't know you guys drank Fanta after the game." He went, "Yeah. Well, it's the sugar." So I told Max, my 13-year-old, that story. So every time I say to him, "Max, can you have something else? Can you have some water?" He's like, "If it's good enough for Olivier Giroud, it's good enough for me." I shouldn't have told him that story. So you're just chatting off camera, you know, you're like, oh, well, congratulations, man, you made a World Cup final. This is amazing. And then all of a sudden you get a tap on the shoulder and you're about to go live. So it's about maintaining your composure and just asking the very, very basic questions, really.
Yeah.
Nothing too convoluted, unless, of course, there's a big story that's emerging. And then, of course, straight after that interview, then suddenly Kevin De Bruyne comes in and Eden Hazard, and you've got to be, you know, it's really hard. It's a handshake. It's like, guys, I'm so sorry. You know, these guys have just lost the World Cup semi-final, you know, so you've got to have a little bit of empathy as well, because they've just lost out on one of the greatest moments in their careers as well. But the golden rule is just maintaining your composure and maintaining that element of, I'm representing a big organization here, and don't mess it up.
Yeah, it's that building relationships, isn't it?
Yeah.
During lockdown now, what skills should we as presenters, reporters, whatever industry we're going into, do in these times?
Well, I think you're doing a great thing now by utilizing this time really well. By, you know, you and I have been chatting over the last couple of days, and then, you know, you had this idea to do an interview with me, and I'm more than happy to do it as well. Man, get as much experience and practice under your belt, Gethin, you know. So if I were you, I'd be thinking about calling up some pundits and some sports stars, and even if it's just a couple of you yourselves, just almost reenacting. Because when I look back at my career, Gethin, one of the things that I'd done by the time I applied for my first ever job back in 1998 was that I'd had 4 years hospital radio at Swansea University at Singleton Hospital under my belt, so presenting my own show. 4 years of a live 3-hour radio show under my belt, so I knew my way around.
Yeah.
Playing records, going live, faders, playing CDs. We were still playing records back then. Playing CDs, cartwheels, all that sort of stuff. And I knew I had a microphone discipline. I had studio discipline as well. You know, I'd done a couple of weeks, 3 weeks of radio experience with Radio Wales when they were in Swansea as well. So I was utilising my time, a bit like you got now, although you haven't got the freedom to go out and do stuff. It's just I had that experience under my belt. So I had tapes. I had stuff I could send to people as well. So what I'd say to you, Gethin, is like, you know, reenact a press conference, you know, host your own radio show, host your own YouTube channel with a couple of your pals, or, you know, get a few sports stars with some of the contacts you've already built up as well. And just have a go, record it like we're doing here now, and just get used to it, and just imagine you're on air. I remember at a pal of mine, when we were at journalism school, we used to take down like an old, back in the day, we had like reel-to-reel players, and we used to take one down to Cardiff City, and we weren't on air. We'd get some press passes from the guys there. This is Ninian Park, and we'd pretend to be on air. So for 90 minutes, we'd actually record ourselves so that we had the tapes anyway. But we'd pretend that we were effectively live on air. So then suddenly, when you go into a big organisation, any broadcasting organisation, they say how much experience you got. You can either hand them the files, you can email them the files, or you can say, have a look at my YouTube channel or whatever. And we were like, we handed them over like these sports commentaries that we'd done. You know, they weren't very good. They were rubbish, in fact. But the fact is, we had a go, and we knew our way around a microphone.
Yeah, and if you don't have a go, you'll never know, will you?
Exactly. And also, the other thing I'd say as well, Geth, is right as well. Right. Because it's, like I said to you on the masterclass day as well, it's important that you master the art, and especially in sport. If you're putting together a bulletin, you want to get as many stories away as you can. If you're writing a beautiful piece like I was out in the old Stalingrad, a beautiful historic piece about the turning point in World War II, I had a load of books with me anyway, because I was reading, I was fascinated by Russian history anyway. But I was writing these scripts just in case I was asked to comment on them or do a radio two-way about the location of the venue and stuff as well. So I was writing on the planes as well. So write as much as you can as well, even if it's just, you know, even if it's just a match report of a game of a Champions League final from last year. You know, write yourself a match report. You know, imagine the editor said, right, I need 30 seconds from you from the Champions League final last year. You know, write it, record it, think, right, how can I make that better? It's too long. What can I edit out? Or if I take that line out, I've lost that part of the game. Just keep writing as much as you can.
Yeah, that's good. Good tip. Thanks, Andres. I was speaking to Joey. Sorry, I've got 2 more questions. I won't keep it too long.
That's okay.
I had a quick chat with the program director on my course, and as you know,
is that his title now?
Right, lecturer.
I called him lecturer. Former producer. Now he's called the program director. Wow.
And is it true that Joe Towns gave you the big break?
Wow, what a question. Right, interview over. I'm out of here.
I knew that would be a break.
He's a great guy, Joe. I love him to bits. He's a really good guy. A great producer as well. Really good producer. One of the best producers I've worked with as well. And you know, the other thing as well, Gethin, and he won't like me for saying this, I was always, like presenters think they can write, right? Okay. I say to Joe, this is really well, because he'd write the scripts. And he'd go, why are you so surprised? But I work with so many producers who are okay writers, but not a lot of them. A lot of them just go, oh, Chase, you write it. You write the scripts. You do it better than us. You write it. I love writing. Okay, so you know, if I wasn't doing this, I'd be writing books or whatever. And I remember saying to Joe, writing's amazing. And you know, he was a very good producer, and he knew what he wanted, and he had very, very high editorial values and production values as well. And he aimed high as well. Yeah. Did he give me my big break? No, he didn't. Of course he didn't. No. I mean, I suppose what he can lay claim to is, between myself, him, and Phil Chappell, the cameraman, in Las Vegas, we did put our heads together and say, shall we go to the Al Pacino red carpet where Al was premiering his new movie, 88 Minutes, when we were in Vegas for Calzaghe Hopkins.
Yeah.
And we went, and we amazingly, I don't know how we did this, we got a place. So we got a place on the red carpet, and we got this amazing interview with Pacino. And Pacino knew Calzaghe and was talking about how he gets up in the morning to watch Joe's fights as well. And suddenly, the program we had in the can that we started editing, this was on the Wednesday, we were there for a week. The program we had was a program called Sport Wales. We basically ripped it up, and Joe and Tony, the editor, they created a brand new program, basically in 2 days, where instead of it all being about like the boxing, it was like tonight on Sport Wales, featuring, it was like a movie trailer, Al Pacino. People back home at BBC Wales, they were going, man, this is unbelievable. You've got Al Pacino on your show. So yeah, I suppose he gave me my big break in terms of sports stroke entertainment. That's all he did.
It's not a bad gig, is it? It's not a bad gig. It'll do. I've literally got the words he says down here. Your energy, enthusiasm, and professional is one of the best in the business, and there's no for every option, there's no denying that.
That's lovely.
What do you put your success down to?
Joe Towns. Look, it's I get asked this an awful lot at the master classes, you know, at the colleges, to say what's it come down to? Is it luck? Is it hard work? Or is it the fact that you are effectively born to do it?
Yeah.
Right. And those are the genuine questions people have asked me, and I think it's probably a bit of both. I can tell you, Gethin, it was the only thing I wanted to do. It was the only thing in the world that I wanted to do from around 10, maybe 11, maybe 12. I used to do my own little radio tapes in my bedroom, right? Ask anyone who knew me, it was the only thing I wanted to do. And I tell this story as well. I've got an old junior school book, and I used to watch Cardiff City at home every single week in 1982 in their promotion winning season. And back in the day, you used to have to write a little story on about 6 lines and draw a picture of where you were at the weekend. Other kids were talking about how they went swimming, they went down the park, they saw their friends or whatever. Every other week, I wrote a match report. And I was about 8 or 9 at the time. This is junior school now. And my teacher, Mrs. Salway, wrote, Jason, a red pen, you must start writing about something other than sport. So for me, I was destined to do it. And I couldn't have done this without the help of incredible people who've thrown me into jobs, you know, given me amazing opportunities. And they know who they are. I'm not going to name them on here. They know who they are, because I often remind them and say to them, you know, had you not taken a leap of faith in me, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. But you know what? As well as that, there's also a tremendous work ethic that's in me. And it's probably to do with the era I grew up in. I had a very strong work ethic. I saw people working hard around me. And I suppose that's the thing. It's a bit of everything, really. Bit of passion, dream to work in this industry, and I throw everything, as you said so kindly, I throw everything into it, Gethin, and a bit of that. And I think people, they say to me, what I love about listening to you on the radio and I see you on telly is that you're just so enthusiastic and energetic. I love watching you, and I never know what's going to happen next. And and that is because, you know, in a newspaper interview I gave a few years ago, getting the job of reporting for the BBC at the World Cup final in Brazil in American Argentina against Germany was a dream come true, and it is every day. It's a dream job and one I love doing.
Inspiration. That's all. Just one word, inspiration.
Thanks, man.
Jace, thanks for as I said, thanks for taking the time again.
Cheers, Geth.
Really
nice one. And listen, man, you guys did a brilliant job, and you've done a great job as well already. That was October that I saw you then at the masterclass, and where are we now? We're in May now, and already I can see and hear in your voice how confident you are as a broadcaster. So I wish you all the very best, my friend.
Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Jace. Have a good day, all right?
Cheers, Kev. Happy birthday, man.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, buddy.